wonderful subscribers.
Whereas it has pleased Almighty God to call to his mercy our late Sovereign Lady, Queen Elizabeth II, of blessed and glorious memory, by whose decease the crown of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is solely and rightfully come to the Prince Charles Philip Arthur George. We, therefore, the Lords spiritual and temporal of this realm, and members of the House of Commons, together with other members of Her late Majesty's Privy Council, and representatives of the realms and territories, aldermen and citizens of London and others, do now hereby, with one voice and consent of tongue and heart, publish and proclaim that the Prince Charles Philip Arthur George is now, by the death of our late sovereign of happy memory, become our only lawful and rightful liege lord, Charles III, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of his other realms and territories, King, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith, to whom we do acknowledge all faith and obedience with humble affection, beseeching God, by whom kings and queens do reign, to bless his majesty with long and happy years to reign over us. God save the King!
God save the King!
I now invite those on the platform to sign the proclamation.
So Penny Mordaunt, the Lord President of the Council, and the Clerk of the Privy Council, who are leading the proceedings here today, and the new Prince of Wales, Prince William, signing the proclamation, the accession proclamation that has just been made. He will be followed by the Queen Consort, both Privy Councillors since 2016. And now other members of the platform party, beginning with Penny Mordaunt, who has just taken on this role in the last few days, also adding her name. And the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. And he is followed by the Archbishop of York, Stephen Cottrell. I'm just going to bring you in here, Werner Bogdanov, because you've studied this over the years. You've never seen it before. What have you made of it so far?
It is a very moving and solemn ceremony, rooted in the past, but a confirmation of the fact that Charles III is the king. It doesn't make him king, it confirms the fact that he is the new king. And as I say, it's a very solemn and moving moment, which perhaps many of us will never see again.
Indeed. And hearing, as we have done only a handful of times over the past few days, God Save the King, it takes some getting used to, doesn't it, Robert?
It still does, and I think it was very powerful when you saw all those former prime ministers who've known So we're all together saying, God save the King, and also the slight tremble in the voice of the clerk of the council, Richard Tilbrook, there, as he read out what will be the proclamation. I mean, people in that room are feeling very moved, and it's not surprising. And then we see, of course, there's the old marshal, like everyone else, with black armbands. It's, as you said, I mean, this is what no one's seen before.
Drafts of 8 orders of council. 1. Ordering the proclamation to be printed and published in specialist supplements in the London, Edinburgh and Belfast Gazettes. 2. Directing the Lord Chancellor to affix the Great Seal to the proclamation proclaiming His Majesty King Charles III. 3. Directing the Kings, heralds and pursuivants of arms to attend at the Court of St. James to proclaim His Majesty King Charles III. 4. Directing the Lord Mayor, the Court of Aldermen and Commons of London to attend at the Royal Exchange to proclaim His Majesty King Charles III. 5. Directing His Majesty's Secretary of State for Defence to give directions for the firing of guns at Hyde Park as soon as His Majesty is proclaimed. 6. Directing the Constable of His Majesty's Tower of London to give directions for the firing of guns at the Tower of London as soon as His Majesty is proclaimed. 7. Directing His Majesty's Secretary of State for Scotland to cause the proclamation for proclaiming His Majesty King Charles III to be published in Scotland. 8. Directing the Clerk of the Council to issue circular letters for causing His Majesty King Charles III to be proclaimed are hereby approved, and that concludes the business for this part of the Council. I now invite the deputation party to accompany me to wait on the King in the Council chamber.
Prince of Wales and the Queen Consort leading the platform party out of the picture gallery there at St James's Palace, and a very short 10 minutes or so opening part to this Succession Council. That was part 1. The proceedings will move shortly into the throne room. The party now goes into the council chamber, which we won't see, but they will all move there